I go on my Facebook, first comment says, Kenny, you are in cahoots with Walmart to traffic children on their website as part of the World Economic Forum. And like somebody on my website saying, you and the entire Great Reset, you will be brought up on charges and executed following the Nuremberg trials. We've had protests involved now, and I'm just basically laying out the battle lines that we will not allow this party to be hijacked by people like that.
Hurt, we all hurt. When one succeed, we all succeed. When one fail, we all fail. But I do not care about activity. That means I don't care what time you come in. I don't care what.
See, and as I mentioned a moment ago, I think most of our strategic competitors around the world would like nothing better than for us to remain in Afghanistan for another year, 5 years, 10 years, and have those resources dedicated to being in the midst of a civil war.
All down in your story toolbox. Now, I have a lot more prompts for you, and it's kind of boring for me to list them all out verbally here. So I will put a link in the description with a full
83-year-old mother from these people. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody, there are a lot of mainstream conservatives, or I should say just regular Alberta people, right of center, who are frustrated with COVID restrictions and have various grievances with me. That's fine. I accept that. I welcome it. And I'm not characterizing
the line between reality and virtual reality.
To the United States, to the point where it's not capable of conducting such an attack again from Afghanistan. We're going to keep in place in the region the capacity to see if any reemergence of a terrorist threat and to be able to deal with it. And on the terms that we went into Afghanistan in the first place, we've succeeded in achieving our objectives. When the president came to office, he had a decision to make. The previous administration negotiated an agreement with the Taliban that said that our forces, our remaining forces, only about 2,500, would be out of the country on May 1st. And the idea that the status quo could have been maintained by keeping our forces there, I think is simply wrong. The fact of the matter is, had the president decided to keep forces in Afghanistan beyond May 1st, attacks would have resumed on our forces. The Taliban had not been attacking our forces or NATO during the period from which the agreement was.
To open your heart and reach out to help someone else. You have a purpose, and that just brings joy and love into your life. And when you have that, I feel like you're like a beacon. You know, people are attracted to that. People want to be around people that are making good things happen. And also, you know, my mom and my dad used to say,
relationship, or whether they have one, because let me play two back-to-back sound bites. One is of Tucker sympathizing with Jones, but the other one has Alex Jones basically saying, hey, yeah, I'm going to let Tucker present this January 6th conspiracy theory first. I'm going to let Tucker present the inside job theory because he's going to do a great job with it. And when I heard that, I thought, are these two guys in cahoots? Like, are they friends? Do they communicate? Let's listen to these two sound bites and then we'll talk about it.
I created a concept called what defines your benefit. The what is, what can you do for me? That's your value statement, right? You have to define the need and the opportunity. That is, what strengths do you bring to the organization? Hey, don't ask yourself, what do you do right? Ask yourself, what do you...
You know, I've persuaded everyone that you should star in my movie, but it was really hard to persuade them. But now it's your turn. And I looked at him and I went, yeah, I mean, to do
$1 billion in assets under management up. So where does that put you all right now? Are you closing in on 10 trillion?
Remain silent about what would be, if true, an abuse of power. If the NSA is actually reading Tucker's emails, then that's really disturbing. But for some reason...
We've kind of gotten used to BlackRock beating the numbers, beating expectations. That's certainly the case this time around. Also, your assets under...
The embassy has had lists of people for a long time. We are doubling down, making sure that we know, to the best of our ability, everyone who may be at high risk, and trying to find ways to account for them. So all of this is consistent with the effort to make sure we have the best possible information, and we're doing...
The people that I remember are the ones who does something different, who says something different. You have to have a differentiated strategy to separate yourself from everybody else. And then the last one is the benefit. What lists the benefits you bring to the organization?
Position. There are two very different fits for each of those positions, even though they might be in the same company. A fit for a sales job would be somebody who's outgoing, who's personable, who is extroverted, who shows that they are very goal-oriented and very results-oriented, someone with high energy, for example, versus...
That's crazy. I mean, it's not his fault he was born with a bum heart. And it's not anyone's fault that they're born with these, serious health issues. And I just think that
appreciate the inclusion of USB-A, since I still depend on a lot of accessories that use the
mocked Alex Jones and said, that guy is crazy, we're not going to touch that sort of stuff. But now Fox's face is effectively Alex Jones. The de facto leader of the Republican Party is touting the same stuff that Jones touts on his show.
Know me, my first life, I call it, I was an ex-professional, I was a professional baseball player. I went to the University of Nebraska on a baseball scholarship, and then I went and got drafted by the Philadelphia Philly Major League Baseball organization. And before my career ever got started, I blew my knee out. I had to go back to school, get my computer science degree and an MBA and all.
And it's taken time to get all of that in place. But we have a whole of government effort going on right now. Jake, we've seen two things. First, we've known all along, we've said all along, including the president, that the Taliban was at its greatest position of strength at any time since 2001, when it was last in charge of the country. That is the Taliban that we inherited. And so we saw that they were very...
If you are someone who has been searching for a job for the last little while, you've been going on some interviews and you haven't been getting past the first round or the second round interviews, and you're wondering why, then today's video is for you, because I'm going to walk you through exactly what things interviewers, hiring managers, recruiters are looking for when it comes to interviews. So stay tuned.
Great chance you had to deliver some sort of feedback in that story. So tell it.
Now, do we have a deal? Or would you rather just keep playing this fake, sympathetic therapist?
Okay, so when it comes to fit, you can look at it from a multitude of angles. So first, let's start off with fit for the job. So you have to ask, are they really looking for? And for someone who has been in the recruiting world for several years, someone who helps professionals to land dream job offers, I know a thing or two when it comes to what hiring managers are looking for, and some of the things are things that are super basic that
my story toolbox strategy that gets exceptional results. I get the most testimonials of fabulous results from this tip,